All right, here we go now to start hour number 3 of our radio program on a busy Tuesday afternoon. Nice to have you with us. Snowstorm is coming here in the northeast, second nor'easter in a week or so. So we're going to bunker down here and get ourselves organized and hopefully get to a little warmer weather and get the daylight savings time as far as the weekend is concerned. Jay Billis today. Good to have him with us. As we chatted, a lot to do with college basketball. We spent some time with Steve on that. He started with Danny Kenley today. That's going to be a good show. Steve did a good job anyway. Number one, underrated. Again, Not a ton of style, but a lot of substance. He doesn't get credit for that sometimes. And Kenley will add some pop. That will be a good listen every day, 1 to 3. So we give Danny credit there. He's part of the family now, and it's good to have him here. So we say hello to there, and we say hello to you as we begin the 5 o'clock hour. A little potpourri to get you started, and just to get a little sense about what's going on. I did start the program today all over Janson, Kenley Janson of the Dodgers, who's had a lot to say this winter as he mulls over Marvin Gonzalez's home run and Alex Bregman getting base hits off from left and right, who bombed in the World Series. But regardless of that, he's had a lot to say. He hasn't liked the way it's worked for the free agents. He's brought up the strike scenario, and maybe next CBA will walk out, and on and on and on and on and on. And then he said today he doesn't like the way teams have gone about trying to build a better ball club in 2018. He said there's only 3 or 4 teams in the National League who care, which is absurd. Teams that he somehow forgot, Padres Hosmer, Phillies Santana, Brewers Kane, Dodgers Giants Longoria, Rockies Wade Davis. I go on and on and on. It's not even worth discussing. But the one thing he did say, I'll go the other way here for a minute, that I do agree with, and I think it is a bit of a problem for the sport right now, is the idea that they're really only beginning of the year, and we're a month away from opening day. Opening day is 3 weeks from Thursday. They're going to start during the week this year, not on a Monday. They're going to start on a Thursday, which is rare, and they're going to start basically on a weekend. A lot of teams don't want to start weekends because they feel they give up a weekend. They want weekend baseball. And, the team that opens up at home on a weekend or opens up on a Thursday, that Saturday and Sunday game is very lightly attended. A, it's Easter weekend, and B, it's freezing in certain cities. And, it's April 1st, so it's baseball. And so those kinds of weekends are bad weekends for attendance. So a lot of teams don't want to open up this time of the year because they have a weekend right out of the gate that they have to waste. Everybody gets about 13 weekends, and there are lots of teams that get a bad weekend right out of the gate. But it's rare this year, a Thursday they open up. So there are a lot of clubs who are going to have to start on a weekend after opening day's hoopla on Thursday. A lot of teams have Friday off, and then you got to have a baseball game on a Saturday, which is a weekend, which they don't like because it's attendance and all those things. But so baseball starts 3 weeks from Thursday, and there really are, as Janson said, right now there are only about 7 teams that have a chance to win. That I do agree with him on. Dodgers are 1, the Cubs are 2, Nationals are 3, Astros are 4. You have to put the Indians in there, 5, bad division, and then the 2 teams in the American League East, the Yankees and the Red Sox. I mean, that is really, when you get right down to it, those teams with a modicum of breaks. Okay, they don't need a miracle, don't need somebody to bounce back and have a huge year. If things just played normal, they'd be in the playoffs with a chance. And those 7 are the teams. And that's, listen, baseball is always very unpredictable once they get into the postseason, but it's very predictable getting to the postseason because the best team, usually over 162 cream, rises to the top, and that team survives and gets themselves into the postseason. And those 7 right now are going to be in the postseason. I'd be shocked if they're not. And that only leaves you 3 other spots. That leaves you 3 spots. If you put the Nationals, the Cubs, the Dodgers, the Astros, the Indians, and the Yankees and the Red Sox, which I think is very legit, I don't think anybody would disagree with any of with logic. I don't think anybody. The Indians are in a bad division. The Nationals are in a bad division. The Dodgers won 103 games last year. The Astros are the defending champs, and we all know what the Yankees and the Red Sox can do. So I don't think anybody, and the Cubs are the Cubs, won 2 years ago. So I don't think anybody would argue with that. So in essence, you play 162 to, find 3 other spots. And when you look at it from that standpoint, the 3 spots, for the most part, are going to be wild card spots. You're going to have one wild card spot up for grabs in the American League, the Yankees and Red Sox, Indians and the Astros, one extra team. And then, all things being considered here, I'm not going to give you a miracle, Verlander and Keuchel are out for the season in April. I'm not giving you that. All right, I'm looking at it normally. And then, of course, 2 teams in the NL. So there is a scenario this year. Look at the NFL, for instance. You can do it every year in the NFL where you can take 6 in and 6 out. Every year there's 6 different teams that make the postseason. This year in baseball, it's not going to be the same. Houston made the postseason last year, they're going to make it again. Yankees and Red Sox made the postseason last year, they're going to make it again. Indians made the postseason last year, I'd be shocked if they don't make it again. That's 4. The Dodgers made the postseason the last 5 years, they're probably going to make it again. Cubs made the postseason last year, they're going to make it again. Nationals made the postseason, they're going to make it again. So that's tricky for the sport. They don't like to hear that, but that is something you're going to be concerned about. So that's one thing Janson did say that he happens to be right about. That's the first thing. Second thing is, you might hear a little bit of an outcry here, and Steve mentioned this during the break there at 4:30 on our commercial break. This is a year in the NBA that maybe you'd like to have 1 against 16, 2 against 15, and down the road, because it looks at the moment that Golden State and Houston are the 2 best teams. Now, right now, Houston is 115 in a row. They're 49-13. I mean, they've had an incredible year. And right now, you'd have to easily say that they're the second best team. I guess the refs bailed them out against the Celtics on Saturday night, but Cleveland can't get out of their own way. They're still struggling. Nobody believes in DeRozan and Lowry getting to a championship series, so maybe this is the year that you like to have a Golden State Houston final instead of a Golden State Houston conference final. Now, having said that, let's say this about the NBA right now. 2 things I want to say. First thing is what I hinted a little while ago with the Rockets. I'll believe in the Rockets when I see them in a big situation go out there and play big time basketball against a big team. All right. Last year, they basically collapsed. They were horrendous against the Spurs, and they gave up. They absolutely gave up against the Spurs. They got frustrated with their defense, and they gave up. Harden, of course, led the way. D'Antoni's system, the whole bit. They gave up, and they got killed. The year before that, they got killed by Golden State. All right, they got destroyed. That's not a crime. They talked a big game. They lost in 4 straight. And the year before that, they got to a conference final, but they were obliterated by the Warriors, and they lost in 5, and I believe Curry may have not played. That may have been 2 years ago. But regardless, they won 1 game against the Warriors in the last 2 years in the postseason, and last year they collapsed against San Antonio. Go back to D'Antoni's days with Phoenix, and I know 1 year they lost Stoudemire because he ran off the bench, and it killed them in a Spurs series where they had a chance to beat them up 3-2, so I understand that. I get that they were a little unlucky that one time, but let's be fair. The D'Antoni system has never, ever worked in the postseason. Never worked. Never. And so to me, Houston's got a lot to prove. And I know Van Gundy said it this week about how Houston right now he thinks can beat Golden State. I got to see that. All right, I really do. I have to see that. I'm not ready to think that. Chris Paul has underachieved in the postseason. Outside of 1 shot he made against the Spurs to get out of a first round, he's underachieved in the postseason. He hasn't done a whole hell of a lot. Never carried his team deep. They've never played in a conference final. Harden speaks for itself. They don't play a lot of defense. They're not going to get a huge stop with the season on the line. They're going to beat you with offense and system and all those things. I got to see Houston with pressure on them, 4th quarter on the road, trailing in a big series. I got to see them respond before I'm going to be convinced about the Rockets. Now, having said that, the Western Conference right now, the bottom half of that bracket is going to be very, very good. Somebody hand me a pen. Please, talk to me. Thank you. Look at the bottom half of the bracket in the West right now. All right, now you got Golden State and Houston. Let's put Houston 1 and Golden State 2 right now. I don't know if that's going to be the case, but let's see that goes right now. 3 in that conference right this second is going to be Portland. All right? I don't know if that's going to hold up, but right now they're 11 over 500. They're 2 up on Minnesota. 4 right now in that conference. Let's just put the teams. New Orleans, Minnesota, the Spurs, the Thunder, and it's going to be a good chase with the Nuggets. Those are the six. Those are the 8 teams. You have the Clippers, who have a chance to make the playoffs, and you have Utah, that has played very well for a long time. They have a chance to make the playoffs. So you have, really, in the NBA in the West, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got 8 teams for 6 spots. But that's not what I'm getting at. So you might have an interesting race. You know, the Clippers have played very well for a long time. They're 6 over 500. He's done a good job at that team. They made a lot of trades. He's done a hell of a job, Doc Rivers. But right now you're in a situation where you have 8 teams for the 6 spots. But forgetting that, look what you're going to have in the postseason. You're going to have Houston have to play the Nuggets, and the Nuggets are good. They can score. They have guards, the whole 9 yards. Nuggets, no, nobody has seen the Nuggets, but they're 24-9 at home. Not good on the road, but the Nuggets are interesting in that spot as an 8th seed. Then you have the Thunder, who right now are the 7th seed, who very well could play the Warriors in a first-round series. So that's Westbrook and George and Anthony against Golden State in the opening round series. Then you have the Spurs in Portland, and then you have New Orleans and Minnesota. Those are for the NBA, which never does anything until late in the playoffs because there's never any competition in the first round. It's a waste of time. But that is very interesting in the West. You got 8 teams, and 6 of the 8 are equal. And you have good teams at the bottom of the bracket who, like the Thunder, who are dangerous, which would be interesting for Houston and Golden State. That's the one thing I wanted to say as far as the NBA is concerned. So that's the second thing here that we wanted to get to here on this afternoon show. The third thing, couple of things in football. Number one, Le'Veon Bell was franchised again today. That's the second year in a row, I believe, for him. I don't know how he feels about that. They can never reach a long-term contract extension. He gets paid. I don't know what the top 5 salary is. What is it now? About $25 million for a running back? I don't even know. We can look it up, what he gets, the average. What is it, the average of the top 5? Is that what it is? Whatever the contract is, so I wonder, my point is about Le'Veon Bell, I wonder if he's happy with that or is annoyed that, in fact, they have not sat there yet and taken care of him from a long-term perspective. That is interesting. We keep an eye on that about Le'Veon Bell. The other thing that was interesting in the NFL that I did not see until last week, did you see that ESPN lost a playoff game in the NFL? Now, the wild card Saturday now is going to be a Fox and NBC event. It's not going to be ESPN. So ESPN is out of Saturday. So they are not in the mix now on Saturday from that perspective. They will not do a Saturday game on the wild card weekend is Fox. Now, I bring that up because maybe that would entice Peyton Manning. I do not think that Peyton Manning, if he works this year, and I don't think he is going to, but only $15 million for Bell, average of the top 5. Not as much as you think. I don't think that Manning is going to be an announcer, but if he is going to be an announcer, he is not going to go to ESPN. I'll make that prediction right now, just based on, Thursday being a better schedule. The Thursday Fox schedule, which they paid an incredible amount of money for, was it about $50 million a game? Is that what it is? Some crazy figure like that? They are going to get a good schedule on Thursday night, okay? They're going to get a good schedule Thursday night football. You can count on that. They're going to get a good schedule. So they get a good schedule on Thursday night, and it's 11 games Thursday night, and they get a playoff game. So if Manning does make the plunge, and I don't think he will, but if he does make the plunge, I don't think he's going to ESPN. I think it's going to be Fox Thursday night. I do not think he's going to ESPN. And I don't know what that means for McDonough. I'd hate to see Sean lose his job. I don't think he will. He's under contract. They'd have to pay him. I don't know. Steve Levy, who I like, good kid. Steve should not be doing Monday Night Football. I'm sorry. He's not a player. He's not a great player. I got to be honest. That's not fair. And I know he does the college and everything else with Brian Greasy, but he should not be doing the Monday night game. And Joe Tessar, whatever his name is, I like Joe too. Tessar too. He should not be doing Monday night either. McDonough should be doing Monday night. See if that continues. 18 after the hour. We continue here on Mad Dog and